Hello everybody, welcome to this verbing class with me, Teacher Amy. Today's class is a reading class, but we're also going to be talking a bit today. We're going to be reading something called 12 Quiet Rituals of Enormously Successful Humans. So it's basically a kind of cool blog post about the quiet things that successful people do sort of regularly. So that's why they're calling them rituals. So we're going to read an article. It's not too tough. So if your vocabulary isn't up to it, then come along and join us. We're going to just use this as a kind of discussion point, but also practice our pronunciation and reading skills today. So do come along in if you would like to. If you're new to Verbling, there are some stuff that can help you with your time here. We have two important pages that I would like to let you know about, and I'm going to post those links into the chat box for you now. The first link goes to my Verbling Teacher Facebook page, and this is a really good way to keep in touch with the teachers and the students here on Verbling, just to see what's going on, to share stuff and just sort of chat informally about whatever you like on the theme of English teaching and learning. And the second of the two pages in the chat box is my Verbling Teacher page. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more, this is probably the best place to go if you want to find out more about a specific teacher. So what you can see at their teacher page is who they are, a little bit about them, but also their schedule, which includes both their classes that are upcoming, in case you're interested in attending, and a class is what we're in right now, with more than one student. They also offer private tutoring sessions, which is when you can have a session with just you and the teacher, so a one-on-one session. You can use that for any purpose you wish. Just get in touch with one of the teachers if you'd like to find out more. You can use the messaging feature, which you'll also find on the Verbling Teacher page. Ask us any questions you like. It will be great to see you. So do check out those two pages if you have a spare moment. So we're going to say hello now and see who we've got this morning for me and this evening for many of you, to talk about this interesting topic that we have for today. So let's first of all say hi to Harry. How are you doing, Harry?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good evening to you.
It's 1 a.m.
Okay then, good morning to you too. How's your day been today, Harry?
It was a day which I had to decide what I have to do, because maybe I can tell a little bit about it, because we have a situation where a renter doesn't pay the money for the flat.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's not easy, because his ex-wife wants also money from him, and yeah, and he has a new girlfriend also, and this woman has also a child. And so he has to pay also for them, and it's not easy. And the other thing is, this man helped my father in the first help when he had a heart attack. And it's very hard, so we don't get the money for about 3 months. We didn't get yes, and so it's very hard for us to decide what we are doing right now. Should we cancel the contract with him, the rental contract with him?
Absolutely. Gosh, that's a tricky situation, Harry.
But I realized that I can't bring both situations together. I cannot say, okay, this man helped us in a special situation, because there are two different things. I can't mix it up together, because it's becoming too emotional to.
Yes, I completely can see that. Gosh, that's a very tricky situation. Did you manage to resolve anything today, or are you still stuck on it?
I'm asking right now. I wrote an email to a professional person, and when I have questions about this kind of stuff, I get really good help from her, and I will wait what she's saying, and I have to decide it. The For me, it's like learning English to change it. When I want to do something, I have to change it, and maybe I can. We are always make mistakes, but when we do nothing, we have to do something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It sounds as if you're going to have to take some kind of action.
And it's always important to when we have problems, we have to speak with each other. It's not right when we say, oh, we are quiet about our problems, and maybe the other person doesn't notice the problem. That's really wrong. We have to speak about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so,
Well, that's tough, Harry. The best of luck. I hope you sort something out.
yeah, I learn from it every day.
Yeah,
I learn.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, maybe you can just sort of put your mind off it for an hour and practice your English. That'll make you feel like you've achieved something
Exactly.
today.
That's why I'm here. Exactly.
All right. Well, welcome to the class. I'll say also hello to Edson, who has an awesome picture of space. Hello, Edson. Are you there? I wonder. Maybe he's having difficulty. Edson, please make sure that your microphone is unmuted if you want to talk, okay? Because at the moment I can't hear anything from you. Are you there? Nope. All right. Well, I'm going to come back to you. We'll see if we can get through to you shortly. I'll say hello instead to Raphael. How are you doing today?
Hi, Amy. I'm doing great. Thanks. Thanks for asking. What about you?
Yep, I'm good as well. Have you had a good day?
Yes, I had a good day today. It was fun. It was a sunny day, not too cold as it was yesterday. Uh, I haven't gone to work today. I just stay home, do some things, studying a little bit, reading, and trying to trying to trying to make some put my closet in order. But unfortunately, I couldn't because there are too many things, and I think that it got worse than it was when I started. But it was okay. It's fine.
That has definitely happened to me, Raphael. It's like when you decide to tidy something out, it always seems to get worse before it gets better. Once you start pulling things out of drawers and cupboards, it's a bit of a nightmare. But
yes.
Maybe you can work through it and get some order back into life. Oh, well, it's great that you've had a good day and no work. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, welcome. And we'll say also hello to Allah. How are you?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks. How's life going, Allah?
Fine, thank you.
Any news? Have you got any news to share with us about anything?
Okay, we are now on vacations. If you know, we have now, it's our feast after a month of fasting. We've ended that month, and now we are on vacations. It's our feast now.
Absolutely. How long does that feast last for, Allah?
It's 3 days, and today was the third one.
All right, so it's all over. You've had your fasting, you've had your feast, and now you're back to normal tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to have a little holiday and a change of pace, I guess. I always like those type of events for that reason. Well, welcome to the class. Welcome to the class, Allah. And Edson, I think you're ready to say hi. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yay, I can hear you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, teacher. Good morning to you. Good afternoon here in Mexico.
Aha, well, I was about to ask you where you were from. What time is it in Mexico?
It's 6 p.m.
Ah, there you go. And is it dark yet, or is it still light?
No, it's still right until 8 p.m., I guess. Yeah, we are in summer time, yeah.
Oh, lovely. I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
All right, Edson, well, welcome. We're going to start the class guys now, and our topic today is we're going to be reading an article, and it's called 12 Quiet Rituals of Enormously Successful Humans. I'm going to pass the link on to you via the chat box, if you might already have loaded it from the class description, and I'll share my screen. So I think these kind of posts are always kind of addictive, you know, when you have list type posts where 6 things you can do to improve your life, or 10 stupidest activities ever accomplished, or they're quite good for sort of discussion, and I think this is quite a helpful post because it talks about the things that successful people have in common, but not just their activity, which is often what we do focus on, but actually the things that they do quietly in their daily lives. So we're going to read about them and talk about them, and also discuss if there's anything that we do as a sort of a quiet ritual in our day or in our week or at some point in our lives. So you can see a picture of a rather successful man there. That's obviously Steve Jobs, who was one of the founders of Apple. So what we'll do, guys, is to take it in turns to read as usual. I might get you to read a little bit more today because we haven't got so many students and it's not too difficult, this article. So just take your time and see how well you can go with reading, put lots of expression into it, and try and go for best pronunciation, and then we'll work our way through together. So Allah, if you could start us off, please, from May Your Actions, and we'll get going.
Okay. May your actions speak louder than your words. May your life preach louder than your lips. May your success be your noise in the end. Should I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. The result of enormous success is often pretty noisy. Lots of people talking, writing, and sharing stories about it. The actual process of achieving enormous success, on the other hand, is far more discreet. But it's this process that happens quietly behind the scenes that makes all the difference in the world. Mark and I are fortunate enough to know a number of enormously successful human beings. Regardless of lifestyle, industry, or profession, they all share many of the same quiet rituals. And that's precisely what I want to discuss with you today. Building upon our recent video blog post on success, here are 12 things that most successful people we know do quietly and diligently.
Great, Allah, really lovely reading. Well done. You've got beautiful pronunciation. I don't have any problems in understanding your words, and you've got lovely expression. So you read, and it makes perfect sense. So there's one little thing that you can work on, which you do pretty well already. But I'm a big fan of getting to perfection, or as near as possible. So I'll just point it out. So don't forget that when the comes before a word beginning with a vowel, we pronounce it the actual.
The actual.
Yeah. Or there's another one in here, the other. I've lost it now. On the other hand.
The other hand.
Absolutely. And basically this kind of applies to basically all words. If they end with a consonant and begin with a vowel, we connect them together, and it just helps you to flow more in your speaking. So instead of achieving, it would be of achieving. And then we can go all the way through, because we have a consonant here and a vowel again, of achieving enormous. So try to connect up your words as much as possible, just so that it flows even more, okay?
Okay. Of achieving enormous.
Beautiful. That's perfect. Yes. All right. Well done, Allah. Thank you. Any questions about anything in there, guys?
The last word, diligently.
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 Yeah. What does diligently mean? Does anybody know?
Like with every day, or in a correct way?
Yes.
Diligently.
In the correct way, every day. Yeah, good. Probably. I like to think of the word steady, and sort of maybe determined, possibly, or conscientious. Somebody who's diligent is sort of. Pardon? Disciplined. Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you. Disciplined is a good one. So maybe steady and disciplined could be a good description of the word diligent. Hello to Mikkel. How are you, Mikkel?
Hello.
Welcome to the class. You've just missed the very beginning, that's all. Are you there? Alright, I'm not sure. I think Mikkel's joined us. Welcome if you have, Mikkel, and I'll get you to read shortly. So we're going to start with the points, everybody. And Edson, if you could please read number 1 for us.
Okay. Number 1, they have calm, consistent morning routines. Too many books and courses on personal success act like we are robots and completely overlook the enormous power of our emotions. The less frenzied emotions we have at the start of the day, the less we will have all day. Because when we start the day in a calm, mindful state, it's easy to focus and get the right things done. But when we wake up and stress is already upon us, phones ringing, emails and text dinging, fire alarms going off, you spend the whole day reacting instead of being proactive. This means you are not in the driver's seat working on your priorities, the things that drive success. You are simply responding to what gets thrown at you, whether it's important or not. Try to have the first hour or your day vary as little as possible. A trusted routine can be extremely effective in helping you feel in control and non-reactive, which reduces anxiety and stress, and therefore makes you more mindful and competent. The bottom line is that how you start the day has an enormous effect on your overall effectiveness.
All right, thank you very much. Edson, that was just the perfect example of what I was just talking about with Allah. So when you read, you connect your words up so beautifully that it's a very pleasurable experience to listen to you read. Well done.
Thank you.
There's just the odd word that sort of stuck out a little bit at me. So this one here is focus.
Focus.
That's great. And then one down here. If I can find it. Where is it? It's the word vary. It's somewhere around here.
Vary?
Vary. V-A-R-Y.
How do you pronounce it?
Pronounce it vary, and it rhymes, for example, with the word fairy. So it's not with the accent, it's the vowel sound. Yeah, very, fairy. Fairy's very. Yeah, that's
okay,
better.
Very. Okay.
Instead of vari, okay?
Okay, very. Okay.
Great. All right, so does anyone have any questions about anything in this part? Any vocab that we don't know, or grammar problems? No? All right, well, what I want to ask you guys is, do you have, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? Do you have some kind of a calm, consistent morning routine? Do you find a routine in the morning helpful? And what is it? So does anyone want to answer? Who has a consistent morning routine? Anybody?
Yes.
Well, okay, go on.
All right, we'll go to Harry and then we'll come back to you, Edson.
Yes,
okay.
I have to give my father the medication.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to prepare his breakfast. And we eat together breakfast and we read the newspaper together. We read the weather, the news. We speak about the news in the newspaper. And yes, that's my routine in the morning. It helps my father to use his thinking, because when you are retired and you can't have a normal day like another person, but because of his heart attack, his moving is limited.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to keep him fresh, and I have to support him too, because if I wouldn't do it, he would become lazy because it's very hard to continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very important, and that's my routine in the morning.
All right, thank you, Harry. That's a really lovely one. You sound like a very dedicated son, I must say.
Okay, I try my best. I would do it for everyone if I could.
All right, great to hear that, Harry. Edson, what were you going to say?
Well, these days, because I'm on vacation, well, it's pretty calm. The night before, I just set my alarm to sound in 8 hours, and then I start doing my routine, which is taking a shower and eating breakfast, and then start my English lessons. But when I'm working and at school, it's really stressful because I have like 4 alarms. One to wake up, and the next to it's time to shower, and it's time to breakfast, and so it's really stressful.
That's the first time I've heard anyone tell me that they have 4 alarms in the morning, Edson. 1 is enough for me. I have to say, I hate alarms.
Yeah, but well, it's because sometimes if I do things quickly, like taking a shower really quickly, well, then I have more time to enjoy my breakfast. And when the first alarm sound, it's like it's time for breakfast, but I already ate half of it, so I can be calm about that. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Oh my goodness, it sounds like you're so organized.
Yeah. Actually, I have all my day long. Well, not with alarms, but I schedule everything like this is what it's going on at this time and things like that.
I see. How do you find that helps you? Why do you do that?
Well, because it really helps me to organize my things, myself, my time. Yeah. So I use a lot my calendar. Yeah.
Yeah. You use your calendar a lot.
Yeah.
Use your calendar a lot.
Yeah, I use my calendar a lot.
Harry wants to know if you ever use your snooze button on the alarm.
And never. Well, yeah. Well, no, never. I never use it because I do anything on time. If I do that, I will miss breakfast or the bus or something.
I think I would be useless at doing your routine. And I always use my snooze button. In fact, I should probably just set my alarm later. Then that would work.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. Harry, it's going to be your turn to read. We're going to move on to number 2. And would you mind reading it for us, please?
Okay. They eliminate all needless busy work. At some point we all wonder, why is it so impossible to get everything done? But the answer is stunningly simple. We are doing too many of the wrong things. Several research studies have shown that people never get more done by blindly working more hours on everything that comes up. Instead, they get more done when they follow careful plans that measure and track key priorities and milestones. So if you want to be more successful and less stressed, don't ask how to make something more efficient until you first ask, do I need to do this at all? Simply being able to do something well does not make it the right thing to do. I think this is one of the most common problems with a lot of time management advice. Too often, productivity gurus focus on how to do things quickly, but the vast majority of things people do quickly should not be done at all. If you think about it, it's actually kind of ironic that we complain we have so little time, and then we prioritize like time is infinity. So, do your best to focus on what's truly important. and not much else.
Great reading. Well done, Harry. Okay, there's a few words that came up, but overall, really nice expression, and I like the way you took it quite slowly and we could follow really well. So this word here is instead.
Instead.
Good. This one is productivity.
Productivity.
Then we have, vast.
Vast.
And infinite.
Infinite.
Yes, so infinite is the adjective. Actually, infinity is a word, that's what you said, but that's the noun, and that means the thing, which infinity is infinity and beyond, like something that never ends, right?
Okay, yeah.
And infinite is the adjective. All right, thanks, Harry. So, eliminating needless work. Does anyone in here feel that they are guilty of doing things that are a bit of a pointless task or sometimes waste their time on stuff that's not important? Does anyone want to own up to that?
Yeah, teacher, I have a question.
Sure, Edson.
What does that blindly mean?
Blindly.
Blindly. Oh, yeah.
Can somebody explain what blindly means?
With blind, the one who can't see, but the meaning, I think, blindly without thinking.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ella. Perfect. So to be blind means that you can't see. But if you do something blindly, yes, it means that you're not thinking about it, you're not really paying attention to it, you're just doing it.
Okay, got it.
I do. Sometimes I notice it when I read an English text and I want to search for the meanings of a word, and I notice that's wrong, that's really waste of time. First I have to go through the text, I have to go read all the words, and after that I can look up the words. But I notice that I spend too much time to look up the words when I think I have to look the words up nearby. I'm reading it. That's really wrong for me. It's not a good idea for me if I do it.
Absolutely, Harry. I think it's quite clever if you can actually identify these things. I think it does take a bit of thinking, because sometimes we get stuck into habits and we just sort of go ahead and do them all the time. And then if you sit back and look at your life and think, actually, is that really helping me? Sometimes you can find quite a few things that are a bit of a waste.
Because it needs too long till I can finish a paragraph. So I become bored about the text if I have to look up each word. And
yeah, absolutely.
It's better to read it, go through the text, and then after that I can look up the words which I can't understand.
Yeah, exactly, Harry. That's a very good tip. And it definitely makes you, sort of slows you down, but also you're right, it makes you get bored with the text, and then you don't make as much progress because your brain switches off with boredom. So
yeah.
Good points, thank you. I just want to say hi to Johnny, welcome. Johnny, we've just started reading this article, so do have a look at it, but I'm actually going to get you to read if you don't mind. Are you ready?
Yes, I guess I'm ready.
Cool, so number 3, please.
Okay, they do what needs to be done today. While everyone else is thinking about it, successful people are quietly doing it. I have said it before, and I will say it again. It doesn't matter if you have a genius, A.K., and in the PhD in quantum physics. You can't change anything or make any sort of real-world progress without taking action. There is a huge difference between knowing how to do something and actually doing it. Knowledge and intelligence are both useless without action. It is simple as that. Successful people know that a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed someday. They don't wait for the right time or the right day or the right impossible circumstances, because they know these are reactions that are based on fear and nothing more. They take action here and now, today, because that's where real progress happens.
Johnny, thank you very much. Great reading.
Thank you.
This one here is IQ.
IQ. There
Yeah.
you go.
But that's the only word that was wrong, so well done. That's barely even a word, Johnny, so great work. Okay. All right, so does anyone in this class feel like they're actually good at doing what we just read here? And please do let me know if you have any questions about vocab or anything. But is anyone in this class actually really great at doing stuff, at getting on with stuff, at not just talking about it, but actually getting it done?
Yes, definitely.
Really? So tell us, Johnny, how do you accomplish that? What do you do to stop yourself from procrastinating?
Well, I think that, I agree with this part of the text that, because people are always waiting for the right time, for the right, moments to do something, but they don't want to work on it. Like they are just waiting, and if you wait, and if you just desire, but if you don't take action, you will never do it. So you needed to work hard because people quit on everything. So I think that's the way that it is. So I don't know. That's the way that I think.
All right, excellent. And you find it easy to do this because you just keep in mind your goals, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. Because everybody wants to be successful in life, but that's the funny thing about it. Because many students, they wanna finish the college, they wanna like do several things, but they just want, but they don't want to work on it. They don't want to fail. They don't want to, for me, it's when I am like, when it comes to learn a language, for example, I will give my example of it. I try to work really hard because I'm not just waiting, to get fluent. I am working really hard because sometimes when people are sleeping, I am working. When others are eating, I am working. So I am always learning. So that's the way that I feel, that I will get close each day if I work a little bit harder than yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Johnny. Great. All right. Welcome to the class, and thanks for reading. And it's Mikkel, if you're there still, I would love you to read number 4, please. Are you there, Mikkel? I'm not sure, Mikkel, if you're having microphone problems. What I might do is ask Raphael to read number 4, and then if you can just let us know when you're sort of sorted out, if you manage to sort yourself out. So Raphael, okay, so you can't connect the microphone. All right, Miguel. So
can you hear now?
Ah, I can hear you now. Excellent.
I have problem. Okay, start.
Thanks.
They gradually turn life obstacles around. Many of the most iconic novels, songs, and inventions of all times were inspired by gut-wrenching pain and heartbreak. Therefore, the silver lining of these great challenges is that they were the catalyst to the creation of epic masterpieces. An emerging field of psychology called post-traumatic growth has suggested that many people are able to use their hardships and traumas for substantial creative and intellectual development. Specialized researchers have found that trauma can help people grow in areas of interpersonal relationships, contentment, gratitude, personal strength, and resourcefulness.
Keep going, Miguel.
Okay. When our view of the world as a safe place or as a certain type of place has been shattered. We are forced to reboot our perspective on things. We suddenly have the opportunity to look out to the periphery and see things with a new, fresh set of beginner's eyes, which is very conducive to personal growth and long-term success. Mark and I discuss this in detail in the adversity chapter of 1000. Little things happen. Successful people do differently.
All right, Miguel. Well done. Thank you. Let's go through a few words. Your pronunciation's really good today, and great reading. Just a few words that we want to go over. So the first one is this one: masterpieces.
Masterpieces.
Good. The second one is this: specifically.
Specifically.
Good. Here we have reboot.
Reboot.
And this one was a bit of a tricky one. This is periphery.
Periphery.
Yep, so the emphasis is actually on this syllable here, periphery.
Periphery.
Good. And last one, conducive.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Conducive.
Conducive.
Well done, Miguel. All right, thank you, and well done for getting your mic sorted out. Okay, so I'm sure that all of us have some kind of experience that we can relate, which has to do with turning something that happened to us, which wasn't that great, into something beneficial. Does anyone want to share any stories with us about some time that this has happened to them in the past or the present? Nobody? Too personal, huh? Alright, well I have to agree that I think probably the novels or the songs or the artwork, I suppose, if you could call it that, maybe, but also inventions, I guess. The ones that have touched me the most are definitely the ones that have the most emotion in them. Who wanted to say something just then?
No, yes, I'm just trying to get this part of the text. Can you explain a little bit about, can you give us a little summary about that? Because I am almost there, because I still have some doubts about vocabulary. But I would like, yes, I would like to, that to give us a short summary, so I can see if I can tell you something about that.
All right, excellent. Good idea. So, does anyone want to do a short summary for Johnny? Otherwise, I'll do it. No? Is this one tricky? Allah, go ahead. Tell us what this is about.
I think it's about not stopping on, or not to stop on bad experience, but to use bad experiences as new beginning. So we can learn from hard situation. We can turn pain or anguish to new success or a new experience. We have to know the right way to do that, or the right way to go through.
Thanks, Allah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So, is that a bit clearer for you now, Johnny?
Yes, I have something in mind about it. I don't know if it fits with that what we are talking about here, but I would say that I talk some experience that I had during my life, and when I was a musician, I used to create songs about that. I don't know if that's the same thing that we are talking here, but those experiences I took and I created my own songs and I sang about them, and so that's something that I have experienced, and I passed through this by creating songs or doing something else to to not forget but to get over it, and so creating music based on the sads or that experiences that I had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, Johnny. I think a lot of artists do that, and a lot of people who don't have that as their job too. But just do it as a way of working through stuff. Totally agree. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, number 5 is Raphael. If you'd like to read for us, please.
Okay. They learn by stretching themselves to their limits. You learn best when you are stretching yourself beyond your previous level of comfort. Sure, getting into a routine is great. Flow is great too. But neither is the best way to learn. You want to be stretched to the edge of your ability sometimes. It needs to be hard and uncomfortable. That's how your brain grows. We learn when we are in discomfort zone. When you are struggling, that's when you're growing stronger and smarter. The more time you spend there, the faster you learn. It's better to spend an extremely high quality 10 minutes growing than it is to spend a mediocre hour running in place. You want to practice at the point where you are on the edge of your ability, stretching yourself over and over again, making mistakes, stumbling, learning from those mistakes, and stretching yourself even farther.
Thanks, Raphael. Beautifully read. The only word that you mispronounced slightly is this one. This is mediocre.
Mediocre.
Yeah. Do you know what mediocre means?
It's a bad way. It's a bad meaning. I don't know exactly. Something awkward. Something awful. I think something like that.
Yeah. No, you've got the right idea. It doesn't have a good connotation. Somebody mentioned something just then. Who was that? Sorry, I missed it.
It was me.
And what did you want to say, Edson?
That it's a poor way to do things
Yeah,
without
absolutely.
effort.
Yeah, so mediocre is sort of like a way of saying average, but in the sense that average is kind of poor, not anything special. So it's not really bad, but it has a negative sense to it for sure, more than the word average.
Teacher,
Mhm.
for mediocre, that word. If we are, if we talk about maybe about dishes or cuisine and how does it taste? Can I say mediocre? So
Yes.
it was not very good, right?
Yeah, exactly. It basically means that it was not bad, not absolutely awful, but it wasn't particularly delicious. It didn't inspire you. So you can use it a lot with loads of different things, like, you know, an experience, any kind of experience. You know, how was the show you went to last night, or what was the movie like, or absolutely. Okay, so how do you guys stretch yourselves? I can think of some ways in my life that always make me stretch myself. And what tends to happen is that I don't actually ever want to do them because I know it's going to be uncomfortable. But in the end, when I actually do it, it's always worth it. Does anyone want to share anything that does this to them in their lives?
Yes, teacher. I agree that putting maybe a high level or high level to reach is a good way. So if you even know that you will not reach that level, it's so high, but you'll reach more than you've expected. So for example, in sport, if you are running, let's say 1 kilometers, and you put a target as 3 kilometers, you'll find maybe you will run 2 or 2.5 without panic or something like that. But yeah, so it's stretching. That's the way.
Good example, Allah. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. For some reason, human nature, if you set yourself a really high goal, I think you achieve more than if you set yourself a goal that you know you can fulfill. I think that's absolutely right, Ella. I'd have to agree with you there. Anyone else want to make any comments on that section? Any questions about vocab? Do let me know. Just ask me, guys, if you want to find out what some words mean or anything. But Allah, since we're yours, yes? Does someone have a question?
No, not a question, just a comment. Also, they mentioned the comfort zone and this comfort zone in brain, or when you do activity. So that's right. If you do something that you are not used to do before, it's discomfort, or your brain will resist you. But after a while, with training and doing it many times, this discomfort zone will automatically change to be a comfort zone for your brain. So you'll find yourself doing it easily.
Thank you, Ella. Well described. Great. Could you read number 6 for us, please?
Yes. They turn to their intuition when making tough decisions. Intuition is very real and something that is never wise to ignore, because it comes from deep within your subconscious and is derived from your previous life experiences. If everyone else is telling you yes, but your gut is telling you otherwise, it's usually for a good reason. When faced with difficult decisions, seek out all the information you can find. Become as knowledgeable as you possibly can, and then listen to your God-given instincts. Successful people know that trusting your intuition is equivalent to trusting your true self. And the more you trust your true self, the more control you have of making your goals and dreams come true.
Perfect, Ella. Well done. Really great reading. All right. Who in this class can tell me anything about intuition? What is it, and what does it feel like? Can anyone sort of understand what this paragraph's talking about?
Yeah, I want to talk.
Go ahead.
Well, this happened in my life. Well, actually not to me, but to my sister. She's a graphic designer, and I was like telling her, take this job, and she was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to work for myself, and I don't know, this is what I want to do, and things like that. And I was like, you are going to run out of money if you don't get a job. And she was like, I don't care, I want to do this. Well, now she's doing what she wants, and she's doing a lot of money. So I was like, this can be possible, because it's really difficult to do this, to do that here in Mexico, to work for yourself, and well, it's really difficult. And I was advising her to do otherwise, and she was really strong-willed about what she thinks, and at the end she proves me wrong. So to be self-confident, it's amazing. It's just work. It's going to work for you, because as it says in the text, you learn from previous experience. So maybe she learned that. Well, she's pretty good. I didn't know how good she was until I was seeing what she was doing.
Yeah. Thanks. That's a really great example, Edson, and it's quite nice that it was between you and your sister. And she obviously just didn't listen to you, which you were probably annoyed about at the time, but now you changed your perspective, right?
Yeah, but what impressed me or shocked me was like every time she asked my advice, she ended doing what I said. And that time was like, no, I'm not going to listen to you, and it worked. So I'm really happy for her.
That's fantastic. That's a great example of intuition. Does anyone else have an example they want to share with us? No? Can anyone explain to me what intuition actually feels like? Have you guys experienced this feeling of intuition, or like what it says here, your gut is telling you something?
Yeah, it's something that Yeah, it can be necessarily rational, but it's something that you think, that you feel that it's going to
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
All right. What else did you want to add to that, Johnny? You just agree?
No, I kind of disagree a little bit with the this intuition.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Yes,
Intuition.
intuition. Okay, because not always is true. You know, sometimes, especially for example, when you are about to meet someone and the first thing that comes in your mind is, oh, you shouldn't meet that person because she can be mad or she can be bad, she can be a mean person or whatever, you know. But that's the first thing that comes to your mind, and you know. But at the end of the day, you don't know if it is true. You know, it's something that you feel. But when you met, for example, you met that person, and that person is not what you thought at the first time. So you don't need to trust in your intuition so all the time. I mean, I kind of don't do that because I be afraid, you know, when something in my mind tells me that is not a good thing to do or not a good thing to say, but I want to say anyways, you know. So I hate something that I hate most is to be afraid of do something or of to say something because my intuition says that if I do that I will get in troubles, you know. So like I kind of don't trust that and I just do what I want to do. Actually, that's the thing.
All right, that's a different perspective, but also a valid one, I think. I think fear, yeah, the feeling of fear is, I don't know if that's related to intuition or not. I can definitely, like, listening to your feelings, I agree with you, Johnny, can sometimes be misleading a little bit, depending on how tuned in you are, I suppose. What about you, Raphael? We haven't heard from you much today. Do you ever listen to your intuition?
Yes, I listen to my intuition all the time, almost all the time, and almost all the time my intuition is wrong. So it's not a good way to listen to my intuition. Unfortunately, I think my intuition is broken.
Your intuition is broken, Raphael. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Well, can you give us an example?
Sometimes just with simple things. Sometimes I don't like to tell to take my umbrella because I always lost it. But almost always when I choose not to take my umbrella, it rains. And what else? Sometimes we in my company we have to clinch some deals with foreigners.
Yep.
But my supervisor asked me to check other companies, but unfortunately, my poor instinct tells me to clinch the deal with sometimes with the cheapest company, and is that when the problem starts to came, and when we face lots of problems. We have faced lots of problems since then, and I don't trust my intuition no more. You know, I no longer trust my intuition in my job, just with based in past experience.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what Mikkel thinks. Mikkel, do you trust your intuition?
No.
Is yours broken too?
Yes, I have problem. Yes, I suppose normally always in this moment, especially no, I have a special intuition because I suppose it's a mental situation is possible affect depend the circumstance you are living or or you are obtain your objectives or your goals. Your intention is better, but in depend. For I personally, in my case, in this moment, is not. I don't especially a good intuition.
All right.
I think it's important, because always I have I confide in my intuition. And normally I have a good results.
Trust your intuition, you say, Mikkel. Normally I trust my intuition. Alright, thanks, Mikkel. Harry, just before we go, I'll ask you, are you an intuition-based person or not? Maybe Harry's gone to sleep. He's trusted his... That's alright, I was just asking Harry if he wanted to make a comment before we finish the class, that's all, Mikkel. But I think he's gone. Maybe to sleep. It is early morning for him. Alright guys, well done, because that was some excellent reading from all of you. It's quite a long blog post, and we only got halfway through. We only got up to number 6. So if you're interested in finding out more, do feel free to read on and post any comments you have on Facebook, or ask me any questions if you get stuck on any vocab. But well done, everybody, and I'm off to do a writing class. So if you do want to practice your writing class, come along and join me next. And we're doing a bit of a fun, light-hearted one, comic topics today. But other than that, it was great to see you all and have you participate today. And take care. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.